Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Or whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me today, it's Mr. Flyperbole himself, Steve Jaco. What's going on today, Steve?
I'm back yet again. You had so long without me, and now I'm here every day now. It turns out I'm actually sleeping at the studio, so, you know, it's a good time.
No, Steve has been huge for days off this summer, so we're really appreciating that, Steve.
Always
so
happy.
Charlie can get his, so what is it? It was Friday. It's all this week, and I think 3 days next week. So it's 9 days in a row for Charlie. What a guy.
All 9.
What a guy. Charlie O'Connor.
Charlie he hustles all season long. He deserves this time off. Go take in new music that you've never heard of and never will hear of, and just be his Charlie self.
He is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer, so he does deserve 2 straight weeks. All right.
2 weeks.
We have a lot to get to. We have a bunch of mailbag questions for you on this beautiful Mailbag Monday, but a few things I have to stress to you first. Number 1, hit that like button. 20 to start. That's good. Well done. Julia, be careful. Don't fall down.
Don't fall. Likes.
Hit the like button. We need you to hit the likes. We need them. It's what lets me eat. Also, training camp Die Hard sale still going on. $36 for the year. All the benefits of being a diehard for the low price of $36. Access to all of our premium content, access to the Discord, discount on merch and events, all sorts of fun stuff available once you are a member of the community. So go to allphly.com right now to sign up. And while you're there, you know, I mentioned that discount on merch and events. We have new merch. We have our very first Tarantula t-shirt, and it's pretty sick. It's really cool. Check it out at allphly.com. Fantastic Tarantula. I might be ordering myself one.
I saw it when I sat down. There it is in the corner right there. It's a beaut, Clark. It is a beaut. You know, I'm also a big nerd, so this really hits my my interests right here. It really has an intersection with Spider-Man and Durant, the Tarantula over here. So it's so nice that the Phillies have a closer now.
It's really, I heard someone compare it to signing Saquon, just because it's a departure from what they've done. And like, you know, the running back thing goes back to like 2000 with Joe Banner, you know.
Right. I mean, they did have
that. They draft guys, they don't re-sign them, they don't keep them for third contracts and stuff.
Well, we got burnt by DeMarco Murray.
Yes.
And it's all been bad. Like, that was just one of the most scarring experiences possible.
The Phillies have in the past, like, you know,
Wagner,
Lidge, Papelbon. Yeah. They've done it, but it has been a long time since they've had the guy. You know, Papelbon was good for a little bit. He was just a jackass. Yeah, he was hilarious. But now they have Duran, and we have a Durantula t-shirt. So check it out at allphly.com. All right, it's one of my favorite days of the week, Steve. It is Mailbag Monday, and I love mailbags for a variety of reasons. The first of which is I don't have to do any of the work. I simply take the screenshots, forward them to our producer. We have Ethan in this week filling in for Brenna. What's up, Ethan? And
some well-deserved time. Shout out to Brenna, by the way.
I just assume she's doing something else. She's not actually allowed to be.
Brenna is the hardest working.
Yeah, she's worked far harder than I do. I assume she's not actually allowed to take days off. They just have her doing other stuff. But she's not here.
She's not here.
Perhaps she's on vacation.
I don't know. Like, I hope she's enjoying whatever she's doing.
I do as well.
But Ethan's too. So,
So we have that going on. But that's it. I just send the screenshots, and then I think for about 10 seconds about what my answer will be, and like, oh, I could probably turn that into a segment.
I love to go into these things blind, to be honest, because
Yes.
it creates more spontaneity with the answers. Although I did look at them the previous time I was on for a mailbag, because I had a whole list for one of the answers. I think it was like what Flyers would bring what to a barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got it. Like, some of them I just have to think, like, because there's a question in here about like the Sanheim-Krug trade. And it's like, okay, what was that trade? I have to figure out exactly what the pieces were.
That's a trade that didn't happen.
It didn't happen,
which is important to remember.
So we have to remember, like, okay, was it this year or that year? But we have some fun questions to get to today. So let's lead it off with Paul with the great ideas. Love Paul, always a contributor.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a couple. The first one, if Gritty and the Fanatic got into a fight, who would win and why?
Oh,
Now,
two legends.
this is tough because Gritty's insane.
Gritty's insane.
You have the absolute insanity of Gritty, but I look at the Fanatic as like dad strength. Like, at this, my old man is he was born in 60. So he's going to be 65 in October. As a 35-year-old,
I had to do math on my own dad after that. Yeah.
as a 35-year-old, like, I should be able to take him, but he's got that. No, you will never defeat me. I am your father strength. And I think that would allow the Fanatic to beat Gritty. While Gritty is the insane young one, the Fanatic just having all of the hatred of Philadelphia inside of him. Like,
he has been building it up since the 70s, and there's been a lot of hate to build up during that period, especially having to deal with the Phillies all the time. I mean, you've got a franchise
every single day in that heat.
Every single day in that heat, you've got a franchise that has just infuriated the city for over 100 years at this point, right?
Since like Reconstruction, I think.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't really know history. So.
What is history? What is history? We know Philly sports history. That's all that really matters. But the Fanatic does have a lot of hate built up into that giant green gut right there. I'm now thinking, number one, can I beat up my own dad at this point? Because I am much larger than him, but he is craftier. But that's a story for another day. I'll just have to challenge him to a fight, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the only way to find out.
I'm going to take the opposite. I think the insanity of Gritty might win out here.
Gritty being what he is makes it closer, because he is like,
I think,
a ridiculous, basically crackhead.
I think what throws Gritty over the top for me is the athleticism of Gritty, because Gritty is constantly showing off in these Instagram and TikTok videos that Gritty can throw axes, Gritty can ski, Gritty can do the X Games. He
does seem to be quite the athlete.
Yeah. So I think Gritty's athletics are going to win out. I hope this never happens. And if anything, they should just team up and take out the other inferior mascots across the league, because there are some horrible mascots.
Starting with whatever that thing in the Sixers have is.
It's like
they need to avenge hip hop. They should
the Sixers
take out Franklin
to me for a number of reasons. But yeah, hip hop was great. Now, like, in retrospect, like, hip hop was the hero we needed, not the hero we wanted at the time. But this dog that they have, Franklin, is just no good.
Why is it a dog?
I'm forever mad that I had a great idea, and this is a long history of me having great ideas that the teams take and make bad. So, because I had the Spectrum room that I pitched for the Flyers, and they turned it into the disassembly room, and it was no good. The Spectrum room was a great idea. Disassembly room, bad. But
you can smoke in the Spectrum room.
That was my idea. It's like, it's just a crap hole, right? Like, you could smoke in there. It's got just spilled
floors
beer
are just sticky.
It's just gross. And that's where you can experience old school Flyers hockey in the Spectrum room. But they screwed it up. But
talking Spectrum room or Spectrum?
Ooh, that's a good one. Spectrum. Let's bring it back. Come on, Flyers.
We're going to get through 3 questions.
We got to get through. This is what happens when you bring me on. This is why I wanted to do a mailbag. I was like, Steve's mailbag, done. This is what I do, baby. But talking about the Sixers mascot, my idea, they had a competition, right, where they chose this dog. And I think it was like they had a Ben Franklin, the dog, and something else. I don't remember. But The Ben Franklin, my idea way back was that they had a Ben Franklin impersonator from Old City. Just one of those guys dressed up like Ben Franklin. And that's the mascot. So you have Ben Franklin going off a trampoline and doing a dunk, stuff like that.
But it's just an old guy.
Yeah. It's just a guy dressed up like Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
And instead they're like, let's make it like the Cowboys or the Patriots mascot, where it's like a big mascot suit of a guy. Mascot suit of a guy, always a bad idea. It's terrifying.
No, it has to be, I think, an unrecognizable creature. Like, oh, it's just a dog. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, there are dogs. If your mascot's going to be a dog, get a dog. That's awesome.
Just get a dog.
But if it's
like the Georgia Bulldog,
if it's a costume, it needs to be the Fanatic or Gritty, some unrecognizable creature from the Galapagos.
Some sort of Muppet type creature.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Something horrifying.
I always love that there is that backstory of the Fanatic, that he's from the Galapagos Islands.
A real place.
A real place. Whereas Gritty was just in the Wells Fargo Center.
My theory on Gritty is the Fanatic and Bobby Clark one night, Rexy's celebrating, had a little too much to drink. 9 months later, Gritty born.
What an origin.
I mean,
that's love right there.
Look at them.
Love is love.
Put up Bobby Clark, put up the Fanatic, and go, yeah, man, Gritty. Exactly. Born in the Rexy's bathroom.
Gritty doesn't have a lot of teeth, right? I don't think Gritty has any teeth. Clarky didn't have teeth.
So
do the math.
If Gritty and the Fanatic got into a fight, and that does lead to my dad strength argument, the Fanatic would be able to take Gritty because no matter what, the dad always wins.
I'm taking Gritty in this one.
All right.
Yeah.
A follow-up from Paul. He said, and if you'd like a Flyers-related question, what would make you happier? Michkov scores 90 points and we miss the playoffs, or he scores exactly the same this year and we make it in. So 90 points, miss the playoffs, or they get into the playoffs and he's in that 25, 26, 60, 65 range again.
So I'm assuming in this scenario, the Flyers make the playoffs and get their butts kicked thoroughly in the first round, because this team is not ready for prime time yet. They are not there yet. I think there's a chance they could make the playoffs because I think the East is not like that great.
There's a bunch of teams that are all kind of mediocre. They could be the team that has more overtime losses than regulation losses than the rest and gets in.
I think from a podcaster perspective, I prefer the Flyers to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Because life is better when the Flyers are in the playoffs. But from a long-term Flyers standpoint, I like the idea more of Michkov just having a baller breakout year, because that means his development is continued and he is a stud.
It bodes well for the rest. Like, all right, we missed the playoffs this year, but it means we have a guy who put up 90 points as a sophomore in the league. Like, oh, we have a superstar.
I assume, too, in this scenario, if he scores 90 points and they miss the playoffs, that the goaltending really was just horrific beyond compare.
Dan Vladar either is just as bad as Fedotov or got hurt and Fedotov played a bunch of games.
Right. So I'm assuming that means the goaltending was just historically bad, and that the Flyers then see the opportunity that, well, because they always talk about that next season being the real ramp-up year. And I think in this case, like, if that's the ramp up year, they're going to just say, no, we're getting a stud goaltender in this case.
That's if they are to make it this year. And Mish only has 65 points, though.
It's kind of a bummer.
Wouldn't that mean like one of the goalies really broke out? Maybe York and/or Drysdale really broke out.
Yeah.
Owen Tippett's back on track. That doesn't look like a bad contract. Tyson Forster's healthy and everything's fine, and he scored almost 30 goals, maybe. Like, if everyone else is a lot better, but Michkov is the same, does that bode kind of the same for the rebuild as a whole?
I kind of care more about Michkov than everybody else on the team, if I'm being honest.
Because they don't have, if it's not Michkov, they don't have the alpha guy.
Yep.
They don't have the number one, all right, yeah, we have a star and everything else can kind of fall into place. Then you are still so much looking for, who is it?
You're the pre-processed Sixers, if that's the case, where the Sixers, I mean, obviously it's not working out right now, but there was a period where, Embiid was an MVP and Embiid was the guy who came out of all that and was like, well, we ended up with one stud out of that. So it was all worth it. Now, maybe not, but like, I think there's a period where like you need him to be the alpha. You need Michkov to be the guy if you're really going to move forward, because otherwise, like, you might as well tank and try to get, any of these great guys at the top of the draft.
What if it's zegras? What if zegras is like zegras puts up 90
That's
points?
exciting if that happens. Like I'll say, yeah, if zegras ends up being that guy, that's pretty damn exciting because zegras is such a wild card in this. I have high doubts that this is going to be the case. I also have high doubts that there's any way, barring an injury, that Matvei Michkov ends up only at the same amount of points. I think he'd be the most disappointed in himself if that
just happened. The way last year went in terms of like production arcs, he had like a 20 or 30 game stretch in there where he had 7 points. He scored all of his points in the first part and last part of the season and had a middle part where he produced nothing. Like 3 of those 7 points, I think, were in the same game. He just wasn't putting up anything. I do not expect that to happen again this year.
I'll be very disappointed if that's
and like happens. Just because of that, he's gonna score more, I feel.
Now let me throw one more thing into the mix here. That it will be very disappointing if in the scenario Michkov is not the alpha dog, the #1 star player we need him to be. We do have Porter Martone in the system, and Porter Martone had the talent to go top 3 in that draft.
Yeah,
Porter Martone.
No, if he's a center, he's the 2nd or 3rd pick probably.
Yeah, I think so. So Porter Martone could end up also being a stud, which is why it was so exciting to get him. It was a bummer to not get a center, especially, we're going to be forever watching Hagens with one eye and going like, what could have been? But Martone is such an exciting talent. To think about Martone and Michkov on the same team scoring just a ton of goals is super exciting. I really, just going back to this, I'll be very bummed if Michkov scores the same amount of points.
Yeah.
I need him to progress. And specifically, I need him to progress as far as enduring an entire NHL season.
And we assume, I kind of thought, and Charlie and I think we talked about this off the air. I thought there'd be a lot more social media videos like, Michkov doing the Provorov stuff, like pushing a tire up a mountain and like all sorts of that sort of thing going on where he's like maybe he's just doing it behind closed doors. But I just thought there'd be like a lot less Dubai.
Like the Rocky IV training montage.
Exactly, the Rocky IV training montage. 100%, that is what I assumed.
Which, if you're not familiar with Rocky IV, it's just Rocky
if
pushing
you're not,
all sorts of stuff up mountains and in the ice and everything in Russia.
If you're unfamiliar with Rocky IV, you can't call yourself an American, first of all.
That's true.
But yeah, I thought there'd be like a lot less vacation stuff. And now, listen, he could have like 2 vacation videos and be working the entire time. I'm not saying I'm disappointed because I have no idea what he's up to. I just kind of thought there'd be more him doing stuff on social media.
Like he's having a good time. I'll just say that.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Maybe he needs to hang out with Yager a little bit, where Yager can teach him about all the hard work, but also you can gamble a lot.
I was gonna say, but that's Yager. That's second half Yager. Like that's young Yager was also like, we're going out, right?
Yeah.
Like so,
you don't have that hair down to your butt, and you don't go out all the time. Like
I think, as much as I do want them to make the playoffs, because like that's kind of at least being in the mix is the stated goal. Like we're gonna have a question later about a top 5 pick, and it's like, they have a top 5 pick, things really went wrong.
right.
You know? Like,
I think they want to take a step forward.
Because being in the mix is the stated goal. Well, I'd like them to accomplish that. So get in. That would be fun. If I have to choose, 1, Michkov scoring a ton is great. And 2, it bodes well for the future.
Yes.
Like, even if, okay, we missed the playoffs this year, but we're going to get in the next 8 because this guy's awesome. I think I'm going to go with the Michkov 90.
Take that all day. Give me the 90.
All right. Let's go to our next question here from 207 Steel, another regular contributor. If 26-27 has been the let's go year all along, should the Hathaway and Seeler deals have been set up to end after this year so they could have been shipped out at the upcoming deadline, opening up roster spots and cap space and picking up a few more assets? Maybe. I've thought all along. I was shocked when they re-signed Hathaway, first of all, just because it was like 2-year deal.
Him
seems like the perfect guy to move at a deadline to get more than he is worth. He has been traded at a deadline previously in his career. But I will say, I think they want Seeler and Hathaway here on a playoff roster. Like, I think it's kind of purposeful. what do you maybe you could always still trade these guys
That was
later on.
that I was
There's
thinking.
nothing stopping you once you have someone to take their spot.
You can trade them this year,
But
all I care. It doesn't matter.
The specific roles that these guys play, they don't right now have anyone to do those things. And I think they want someone to stand out and kind of take those jobs before they move on from those guys.
Seeler's kind of like a perfect like 6'7" D man where you can put him in there. He's not really going to cost you defensively at certain times. He'll sit in the press box and not complain about it. He will block a million shots. He will smash. He's one of the few defensemen they have that will play an active physical game and smash guys in the face. You have Ristolainen, who's tough to play against, whatever you're saying there.
He's big. He's got the reach.
He's big and got that long reach like Shell Samuelson back in the day. But, you know, he's not a guy who you see lay a lot of big hits out there, where Seeler is a guy, if you need somebody to get the juices going, right, and lay a big hit on a guy, Seeler's really your guy for that.
And even just the little like scrums in front and stuff, Bristol will grab somebody.
Sure.
But he's not starting one.
Yeah.
Like he's not knocking a dude over in front.
Shove,
yeah.
But not a full on, like he won't be throwing the bows out there or anything
so
like that.
I kind of like when those extensions were signed, I was a little surprised and like, where is this going? But I just think they want these players specifically to have their roles taken from them before they move on. They would rather their contracts just expire than like, oh, we got third or second round picks for them. And like, we don't have anyone to do that job now. They look at it as an important thing.
You're not talking about high value picks there.
No.
And Hathaway, you know, I talked a lot about Seeler just now, but Hathaway is, you know, I think he's a good locker room guy from everything I've heard. He's a fine fourth line player. And when it comes to guys playing fourth line minutes, like I really don't necessarily want one of the higher end prospects, like a bump makes the team. I don't really want him playing on the fourth line. I want him playing with higher skilled guys. Hathaway can play that like 8-9 minutes a night, not complain, score a couple goals for you every now and then, and you're not going to get a ton for him in a trade. So I'm fine with it. It's one of those things. It's like maybe a little annoying when you're looking at guys making the team versus not, but it's not a huge deal at the end of the day.
All right. Before we go any further, we got to hit our first commercial break. We have all been there. We know finances can be messy. I have had many a time the conversation with my wife, like, "Hey, what's this charge? Did you not cancel this subscription? Did you buy something that might be a little outside of our budget?" We've all been there. We know how messy finances can be. We know how confusing finances can be. And that's where our friends at Monarch Money come in, because Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. Because it's more than your average budgeting app, Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals. You don't want to just manage your money. You see, you want to build wealth. And you can start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners over at Monarch Money. I have learned so much about what I was overspending on, what I was wasting money on, and I just feel better and more confident, more in control of my finances now, because tracking your spending, it's super important. You need to have that budget. We know how expensive everything in life is right now, and sometimes your finances can just slip by. They can get away from you, but not with Monarch Money. So start managing your finances to build the life you actually want. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for your busy lives. And with all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you'll always know where your money stands, and without the hassle. You can track your spending, savings, and investments effortlessly so you can focus on what matters most, making your biggest life goals a reality. Monarch Money is the finance tool people actually love, and it's been named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. It's the top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 five-star reviews. Financial stress is one of the top reasons relationships fall apart, and Monarch makes money conversations easier. It's no longer Bill, what the hell are you doing? It's, oh, I actually know. I can answer these questions, and perhaps maybe I'm wasting a little bit less because I have it in the palm of my hand, can actually see where my money is going. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money and use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code PHLY. And now you know what time it is. 1-800-588-2300 Listen, we all know what the big box store experience is. You're looking for someone to talk to. You realize if you can find that person, they have no idea about the depth of this project, what's going to go into it. And that's why I've been telling you for over a year, there's no other option for new flooring other than Empire Today, because Empire Today has something no big box store has. Experts who are with you every step of the way, can answer all of your questions and can bring the showroom right to your home. That's right. You can pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, in your space, see how it all looks with your furniture in your house, up against your paint colors and all that. And they will take the precise measurements for you and answer all your questions so there are never any surprises, including the pricing. Because with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing, and you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. And PHLY listeners, you can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. You heard that right, $350 off with discount code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details. All right, question 3 or 4 now. Ethan, yeah, we are. Ethan Freeman has an interesting one. He says, so you're watching a live Flyers versus Penguins game, and you have 3 buttons, and you can only press one. 1, turn the ice into a slip and slide and remove skates for 2 minutes.
Hartnell mode.
2, lights out. It's cosmic hockey for the rest of the period. I assume it's like cosmic bowling,
Riley
where
Cote
it's just
mode.
like, yeah. Or 3, make the puck currently in play worth 2 goals.
3,
Which do you press?
3.
You get those hot spots?
Oh my God, I'm into 3. So I want like that 3-on-3 NHL game mode where like you get like the red puck and all of a sudden it's like 2 goals.
I always just assume it's like NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Like from here it's worth 9 and you're down 8. You're like, oh, look at that. Perfect.
I want full NHL hits mode. Like, let's go into
hits
it.
was
Let's
the
make
best.
it. Hits was awesome. That's one of my, I think it remains my all-time best hitting Photoshop was the Robert Hagg on the NHL hits cover.
That's really funny.
Body bag Hagg.
I gotta go with the cosmic hockey. I've just always thought like the arenas are all too similar. We need like
planetarium mode.
Yeah, like we need like a little bit different viewing experience for each. Like how every ballpark is unique. I would like that with, you go to like Seattle and suddenly it's just, yeah, man, it's like
Kraken
you're just
out there.
You're just tripping out here.
Yeah.
Like this is straight up Jimi Hendrix.
Well, like,
acid headband hockey.
You know what they do in the intermission, like right before the Flyers come back
Yes.
on, like something like that, but more cosmic.
Oh yeah, the on ice, like almost hologram, and it looks like the ice breaks and stuff. Yeah, absolutely do that.
Oh my God, can you imagine like Travis Konechny dealing with that? Just like, oh, this sucks.
It would be very funny.
Now it's time for cosmic mode.
It would be funny to see everyone out there like without skates, just slipping and sliding around. But I think I got to go with cosmic mode just because that would be hilarious looking.
I like the 2 goals, but also do the one like I want it full, like the rules like that 3-on-3 mode in the NHL game where like you have a puck like it's -1 for the other team if you score.
Oh, like
stuff like that. Like let's get crazy.
I always thought
if
a pitcher in like back when pitchers hit, if a pitcher hits a home run, he should actually just be able to take a run away from the other team. And so it affects his ERA because who cares?
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, he finished the season with 4 RBI instead of 3. Like,
I'm sorry, you let up a home run to Cliff Lee. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah. You get a run taken away from you. I thought that would be more fun. It would be more incentive for the pitchers because it affects their actual pitching line.
Well, this is why the NHL's got to adopt that jailbreak rule from the PWHL,
oh, yes.
right? Where when you score on the power, or I'm sorry, if you score a shorthanded goal, your guy gets out of the box.
I don't think giving up a power play goal should mean you're done.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the rule until like a Montreal Canadiens team just scored like 400 goals on the power play.
Was it in the 70s?
And it was like, yeah,
insane.
we have to change this rule.
Yeah.
But I think the jailbreak rule and not letting guys out because you gave up a power play goal is something they absolutely should do.
I'm into it. Both aspects.
It's like all the rules they implemented after the first lockout, well, after the 05 lockout, to like, let's make the game a little more interesting. Let's take away the red line. Let's incentivize, playing fast. Let's make sure there's no more obstruction and stuff. Incentivizing aggressive penalty kills, that's some of the most fun stuff in hockey. Like block shots turning into goals, 2-on-0s the other way. Like incentivizing shorthanded goals should absolutely be something they do.
The power kill has been easily the most fun thing about the past like 2-3 years of Flyers hockey.
100%.
And seeing Travis Konecny become like an awesome penalty killer and a guy who can score on you at any time on the penalty kill has been fantastic.
Like Mike Richards, like it's one of the reasons everyone loved him, because it's like, yeah, man, he had 2 5-on-3 goals in a season. You know who's done that? Like him and Gretzky.
Yeah. And like the shit, I don't even think the shift was shorthanded,
No.
but like just like that kind of play is what he would do on the penalty kill.
Kevin Hayes, his second year, all the numbers are exactly the same as the first year, but like the shorthanded goals and the game winners were different. And our perception of him was totally different in year 2. And it was like, yeah, man, because everybody loves shorthanded goals.
Shorthanded goals and game winners are all you really need to do to make your bread and butter. We're talking about Ville Eleno earlier, right? Like Ville Eleno, like made his entire career
Game
off
winners,
one playoff.
man. One game winners.
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's go to Heavy Edit Pod. This is an interesting one. Speaking of in-arena, I didn't even put these back-to-back on purpose, but from Heavy Edit, does in-arena experience matter, and if so, how much? Winning cures all, but does in-arena experience really bring in potential new fans to teams that are bad to mid? And he says, good to see Charlie as another evil, gritty burner account. I am almost positive Charlie is not evil, gritty. There is Evil Gritty appears to be back. He's medieval gritty now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I see.
I love Evil Gritty. I find him hilarious. And I know I did help perpetuate the rumor that it's Charlie.
I don't think it's Charlie.
But I really don't think Charlie hates Twitter so much. There's just no way he'd be spending even more time on there.
No.
And he already spends way too much time on there as himself.
No, there's no
There's just no way.
That's like too sicko behavior for Charlie to do that. And I just don't think Charlie's that kind
like
of sicko.
Charlie is like on vacation with his, like girlfriend who he has been with for like, there's no way he'd be able to carry on a like
There's
healthy
too many indie bands for him to listen to.
like a healthy, he's got a healthy long-term relationship. He loves music and stuff. Like he wouldn't have this kind of time if he was coming up with burner bits.
No, this is not for Charlie.
So I just don't think it's him.
I don't know who
the
it
first
is,
part.
but I don't think it's Charlie. But
The first part, in-arena experience.
So I
To
think
me,
okay, you after you, sir.
no, I don't care.
Well, I think it doesn't matter for us.
That's it.
I think it matters for kids and families.
Younger generation, families. And we were talking about the Phantoms earlier, like outside before the show, we were talking about the Phantoms back in the Spectrum and like the Phantoms Patrol and that whole in-arena experience. It was a little different than going to a Flyers game. Also, like it was minor league hockey. That's what minor league sports do. It's all about drawing in families and
right,
having
because
stuff like that.
you don't have the allure of watching the best in the game.
Of the best, yeah.
So that's why minor league games are all so fun. Like
Yeah,
John
because
Oliver
they're
did that-
ridiculous.
John Oliver did that bit a few weeks ago where he renamed a minor league team. And because they change their names all the time, they just do weird, fun, weird stuff because that's how they have to draw people in. And I think for losing teams, for teams that aren't that good, the in-arena experience matters. And it's mainly because you're trying to, that's why they do so many theme nights now.
Yes.
The Flyers never used to do theme nights. And now it's like, they've got Marvel night. They've got Star Wars night. They've got, like a million other theme nights. And that's because they haven't been very good. So the in-arena experience matters a lot more if you're a bad team.
I think it definitely matters for the bad teams. I think it definitely matters for kids and stuff. And it's just like a whole new generation of sports fans that I don't really identify with or understand. But I get that this stuff is clearly important to them.
The other thing is it's so expensive now.
That's
that
the
matters more
thing.
than ever before.
You have to be getting more bang for your buck. And that's where I think a lot of bad teams, like when the Phillies were going through their bad time and you could get like that season pass for like, the spring pass, and it was like every April game for however much.
Yeah, like $100 or something.
And I always, like, my friends and I used to go up and we'd end up buying walk-ups. But I just sometimes go up and like, if you just let us in, we're each going to spend $100 in beer.
Sure.
This is $100 you wouldn't have. The stadium is empty. Just let me in. And I do think there is a mistake made by bad teams. Like, well, we have to juice every dollar. It's like, or just let people in and hope they buy concessions, because that's it.
That's where they make their money. When you're charging like $5 for a large soda, you know how much the soda costs them? Like 10 cents.
It's like 10 cents at most.
It's all
but
profit.
I do think there has been, like, we've had the Harlem Globetrotters forever. Now the Savannah Bananas are like a big thing. I was at a bar.
It's about the
where
experience
the
and the
game
family
was
environment.
on.
Really?
Like I think it was Savannah Bananas against Firefighters.
I'll be honest though.
And the game was on.
When you're at a bar,
At the bar.
like that's a fine thing to have on the background, because like you're half paying attention usually. Like you're either at the bar specifically to watch the game, or the game is just set.
Happens to be on. Yeah. So like I do think in arena, like, and the experience is what the Savannah Bananas are. Like, and I do think that kind of stuff is important, especially when your product isn't, hey, we have the best. Like, you know who, like the Dodgers don't need to do it. It's like, come watch freaking Ohtani, you know?
Right.
Too bad. We charged you a ton. We're not giving you anything else. Beers are $100. Good luck.
We play in one of the oldest stadiums in the league.
Yeah.
Like
places falling down, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Come watch Ohtani.
Yeah, and I mean it's nice and all, but ultimately winning is what matters the most.
I would rather go see a good team with no experience than, oh man, we have all these bells and whistles and like we're 500. Oh, I don't care.
We're old school, but again, this also matters a lot for the kids, right?
Yes,
Kids,
it is much more like the Phantom Patrol, that sort of thing. The Phantoms were awesome back then. Tickets were cheap.
Yeah.
The Phantoms never lost.
No.
And it was still like, yeah, man, Phantom Patrol, all this stuff going on. Like, it was different. You still had to do that because you need the allure to somehow draw people in.
Still a minor league team at the end of the day, but kids, the attention span is worse than it's ever been because everybody's got phones, everybody's got iPads and stuff. So you got to get their attention and they got to love the game somehow. And it's like, maybe you get them in with all this bells and whistles, but then they find out, oh, this is a lot of fun to watch hockey develop.
Ultimately, the hook is, oh, I liked this.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to watch this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, speaking of theme, you mentioned those theme nights. I love all the Phillies stadium giveaway bobbleheads. I have so freaking many. I hate the like Star Wars and Game of Thrones one and all. Like, I hate those.
Right, because
don't
it's
like
like,
them.
so
Like, I like these. Like, I like Star Wars. It's
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
But I don't need a Han Solo Aaron Nola bobblehead. That doesn't interest me.
it doesn't
Nothing about that interests me.
They always end up with extras of those for like, they'll have like a random night in September or something, and they'll have like extras, and it's like, cool, but I'd rather just have the player. It's like, give me a full Star Wars one or give me a full Phillies one. I don't want this combination.
Just give me R2-D2 and that's fine. It doesn't need to be the Fanatic as R2-D2. Right. Like, that doesn't interest me.
No, the Fanatic is R2-D2.
Whatever.
It's a funny vision.
Yes.
It's a funny vision.
All right, let's get this last one in before our next commercial. From Eric. With the team loading up on center prospects, do you feel they are planning a big trade for a young 1C this coming off season? I think all of the asset saving, all of the hoarding of assets is to eventually make a big splash for a star player, whether it's at 1C, whether it's a defenseman, whatever.
Whether it's a trade or a signing. It's a couple really interesting names that might be available next summer. Just saying.
There are.
Just putting it out there.
There are.
I'm trying to manifest this.
I know, just like,
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I'm trying to manifest it.
Nobody ever hits free agency.
I know.
It doesn't have, even like the obvious
time.
Even the obvious, like, oh man, Mitch Marner is gonna be a free agent. He's gonna do this thing.
They talked him into it on the plane, Bill.
He's a freaking sign and trade.
They talked him into it on the plane. Well, maybe we'd sign a trade. Maybe we do a sign and trade. Huh?
What would we possibly have to give up?
But let's make it happen.
Even on an expiring McDavid contract, what would we have to give up?
Every first round pick for the rest of history.
Yes.
It's fine.
Is there like a maximum, like, how far in the future can you trade a first round pick?
I will do it until the end of time.
I think it was an interview with
the year 3000.
I think it was Brian Burke was doing an interview, And he was like, he gets home from work. He just like completed this trade and he like gets home and he's eating dinner with his wife. And she's like, you realize you just traded a 13-year-old? Like, it was like a 5-year in the future first round pick or something. And she's like, you realize you just traded somebody who's like in the 8th grade. And I wonder if you can trade like a 2035 pick right now.
I would do it. I would do it for the chance to sign McDavid long term. Absolutely.
I think the Flyers.
I would trade a lot of picks for Eichel too.
I think if someone is going to hit the market, it could be Eichel, simply because at a certain point, Vegas is going to run into cap problems.
They have to, right? Aren't they? You can't possibly keep doing this.
At some point, Vegas is going to be like, we're up against the cap. There's nothing we can do. Like, right? It has to happen eventually.
How do they keep getting away with this?
But I do think all of the hoarding, but I don't know if it's specifically like a young 1C. Right. It could be a prime age guy because I think they want to be better sooner than later. Maybe it doesn't fit the
there's
Michkov in his prime timeline.
You need 1C, obviously. But I mean, it'd be nice to get like a true number one defenseman too in there.
If Sanheim
like those are really, you need 3 elite guys if you can.
If Sanheim could be not your best defenseman, that would be really good.
I think if Sanheim's your number 2, you're in great shape.
Especially like he can play either side. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to the rest of today's mailbag, let's take our next commercial break. Got to tell you about our friends at Do Dat Dental Group, because your smile says a lot. So let's introduce you to the team that helps you say exactly what you want with your smile. Meet the Do Dat Dental Group. This is the team trusted to care for one of our city's greatest assets, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now entering their 5th season as the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dr. D and his team have proudly served Philly and its fans for over 20 years. They do it all, from robotic implant surgery and Invisalign to veneers, emergencies, and so much more. And they're locally owned and operated. Dr. D is a proud graduate of North Penn High and Temple U School of Dentistry. T for Temple U, hell yeah. His commitment to the health and confidence of our community runs deep. Whether you're an MVP or a lifelong fan, this is the team you want caring for your smile. So check them out at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com and discover how you can smile like the birds. All right, and while we're here, it's time to tell you about our friends at Parx Casino, because whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You can check out brand new stuff. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, a BetParx exclusive. It's the only app I use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. You can play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra. You can play slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and so much more. And new users, listen up, because you can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's try to get a few more in here. Looks like we have, 3 super chats, Ethan? All right, 3. From Christian Inabinet. I never know how to say Christian's last name. There's like an N in there that doesn't seem to make sense to me, but Christian Inabinet.
In a minute.
Yeah. How far back would the rebuild be set if Torey Krug had waived his no trade clause, and we would have then obviously sent Sanheim to St. Louis? So going back, I had to look up what the trade was.
Yeah, I was curious because this is a trade that didn't happen.
It ends up just being, we cover 50% of Kevin Hayes, send him to St. Louis, and get like a 6th round pick or something back. But it was supposed to be a much bigger trade in which Travis Sanheim, right before his no trade clause and his big extension kick in, for Torey Krug. Torey Krug, of course, exercised the no trade clause that he had already had, and this trade never happens, and it ends up just being, here, have Kevin Hayes, see you later. Now, Travis Sanheim is really good. I begrudgingly accept this. Like, he's not my style of defenseman, but it is hard to argue with the success. And
We like a bruiser, Bill. You're
and,
like a real Chris Pronger
I
type.
just want you to either score or hit. And he doesn't really do a ton of either.
Yeah.
In the first half of seasons, he seems to score a lot, and then it just disappears. Like, it's very, but listen, when you are going to be in the top 6 for Team Canada at the Olympics, I have a hard time being like, but I'm right. So, like, obviously I've been incorrect that Travis Sanheim is really good. That said, there was going to be a first-round pick coming back from St. Louis. Now, my question, the big question is, would it have been in 2023, the year of the trade, a few days before that draft, or 2024? In 2024, St. Louis had the 16th pick. They got Adam Jiricek. In 2023, they had 3 first-rounders. None of them were all that great. Really, after Ryan Leonard at 8, this draft kind of falls off. Like, there's Zach Benson in this draft. He goes 13. But St. Louis had 10. They got Dalibor Dvorsky. They got Otto Stenberg at 25 and Theo Lindstein.
Legends.
At 29. This draft was not awesome.
Not the best.
This was not the best draft.
Not great, Bob.
So if it's that 2023 draft,
I mean, it's pretty good for us.
Oh yeah, we got Matvei Michkov, and like, no, the top 8 are really good. Like, you see Michkov at 7, then Ryan Leonard at 8. Cool. But if we're down at 10, all right, maybe Dvorsky is really good and he just hasn't made his mark yet. It was only a couple of years ago. I doubt it would have been number 10 though. Yeah. I bet you it's one of the picks in the 20s, 25 or 29. I'm looking at, like, Callum Ritchie's in there. I guess Easton Cowan would be really cool to have. I don't know. How far would they be off? I don't know if it's that far because they still need a number 1 defenseman.
Right.
But, like, Travis Sanheim's really good. Now,
What's
2024, they have the 16th pick, and that draft, I mean, Cole Iserman, all right, Greentree. I'm not seeing a ton of, like, awesome stuff here. Also, it was a draft a year ago. We don't know how good these guys are.
I think it's more likely as one of those later picks. But I think the biggest effect this has on the Flyers is, do they finish lower in the standings the past couple of seasons?
That's a great point.
Because then that maybe affects, like, do they end up with a higher pick? Like, I'm not complaining about Martone because I love Martone. Love Martone. But what if they're in Misa contention? You know, what if they're
just even this past the 2024 draft? That is the one thing. If they have 2 picks in that 2024 draft, maybe they're not so. But I do think it was probably one of the later 2023s. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they're not so. We have to get a center, and so maybe it's Bouillon over Luchanko, or maybe they're higher up, like you said, because they're a worse team without Sanheim.
I think it's
Krug has been hurt; he hasn't been playing.
Yeah,
like,
because Krug would have probably gotten hurt regardless.
I think Krug is bought out or on LTIR or something. So, like, him not being very good doesn't matter because he's just not a part of it. He's on Ellis Island somewhere. But, like, maybe it's, well, we're not afraid to take Bouillon because we still have another pick, and now we can get, like, a center later on, or we get a center earlier, and now Zeev fell to a still, something like that. Or they trade up for one of these guys, like they get Carter Yakimchuk or something like that because they have 13 and 16, so they can get up to 7. But it being a 2023 pick, I think the thing is, like you said, maybe they're just worse and they're higher up in these drafts.
I think that's the bigger effect here. It's not so much like the compensation they would have gotten,
yeah,
but how does it affect how poorly they would have played? Because Sanheim's played a lot of minutes, and that was after Provorov was already traded, right? That this happened?
Yes.
Okay. Because the big question when Provorov was traded was who's going to play those minutes?
Yeah.
Because Provorov was playing 20 plus minutes every night.
He was playing 25 minutes a night at one point.
Yeah, he really was. And then Sanheim stepped up and he's eaten those minutes up. So who takes those minutes? I don't see anybody on this roster that really could have done that. So it's a really interesting what if. I don't know how much it might help the rebuild if they had traded
I think you'd have more guys on the same timeline.
Yeah.
Like you'd have more prospects and guys kind of coming into their own on the Michkov timeline rather than having, well, we have Sanheim and Konechny and then a whole bunch of guys here, and the only one in the middle is like Owen Tippett.
Right, exactly.
Like that would just be, all right, we have Konechny, he's our wily vet. We have Tippett, he's signed, and then all these other guys rather than it being more. Oh yeah, Sanheim and Konechny are both here.
They're a super young team.
Yeah, they are.
The
They are a younger.
Sean
team.
Couturier is the only old head really
exactly.
around. Maybe Hathaway's still around, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so it's tough to answer. Like how far?
It's a really interesting.
How far back would the rebuild be set if Torey Krug waves? I don't know if it's that far back.
I'd say a couple years. Years.
Like
they'd be a worse team now.
They'd be a worse team right now, but maybe that helps them in the draft a couple years ago. And you look at these drafts and you're like, they didn't really lose that much.
Yeah, there's nobody that
maybe
really.
They probably are worse off.
They're definitely worse off, but it's like, is it worse off for long term or not? Is the big question.
All right, and now another one from Christian. If Jett Nesbitt and Jett Luchanko combined into one prospect named Jett Nesbitt, would their combined skills be the best prospect in the NHL, or dare I say history?
A lot of T's in that name right
there.
There are. So he's got the speed of Jett Luchanko.
He's got the speed, the details, all that
size
stuff.
of Jett Nesbitt.
He's got the size and the scoring and the meanness of Jett Nesbitt.
It's not there's not enough scoring to be the best prospect in NHL.
These two combined aren't scoring at a McDavid-like rate.
Yeah. Like it's scoring. It's a good prospect. Like I dare say it's a definitive 2C, maybe 1C for this team, but I don't know if that's an elite player.
If Nesbitt had Luchanko's legs, we would love Jett Nesbitt.
I'd be pumped about this. And also his hockey sense. Like Luchanko is shaping up to be a really good two-way player.
Detail-oriented. Like I think maybe he doesn't have the ceiling of a 1C, but like matchup wise, he will be very useful.
He'll be extremely useful.
Yeah.
That's a damn good hockey player. If you combine those two, I'm into it. I think best prospect in the NHL, dare I say history, is a bit of an exaggeration. Hyperbole, if you will. But
I mean, that would basically be like Nathan MacKinnon, who's already a guy that exists.
Yes.
And he scores way more than that guy probably ever will.
God, Nathan MacKinnon. Can you imagine having him on your team?
No.
What a dream.
No, I simply cannot imagine a superstar.
No. It's just Mish, please.
I know. I need it.
Mish and Porter.
I'm Michkov mania. We need it so bad.
Please.
All right. Let's get one more in before we hit the super chats. Let's do this one from Devin. Favorite version of hockey, not including ice. And he gives us street, roller, foot, air, field, and floor.
Foot and floor are the
same,
same,
Foot and floor seem the same. Like street and roller, I guess roller rink is hockey. Because we played...
Street, foot, and floor are all the same.
Like street hockey, we played... I was like, my neighborhood growing up was like the Sandlot, but with street hockey. And... you pretty much everyone always wore skates.
Okay.
If someone wasn't wearing skates, though, you couldn't hit. They weren't allowed to hit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I got to go street because that's what we played always growing up.
Okay, so you're thinking of street as like a...
we were on
smaller
inline skates in the middle of the road.
I always played street hockey in sneakers, so that's interesting. You're thinking of more of a hybrid, but like... So you're thinking though, not like in a set, like arena, like literal street in front of your house,
in
like
the street in front of our homes.
Yeah. Okay. I think street's the most fun. I think that's actually what gets a lot of people into hockey.
Yeah.
Is playing street hockey. It's the most accessible form of hockey.
Yes.
For that, you need either just a stick and a ball and a net, or, you know, maybe rollerblades, but you don't need a lot of gear. Whereas like if you're playing ice hockey, you need all the gear in the world, which is why we have great organizations like Snyder Hockey out there that help people play this expensive ass sport. It's a tough sport to get into just because it's so pricey to get into. So street is super accessible, and I love that.
I don't have the hand-eye for air hockey. Like I was in a competitive matchup at the arcade with my 7-year-old nephew, and I was like, Ava's like, "Are you letting him?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm letting him win."
It's I'm just being the bigger man here. Just being a good guy right here.
He's at 5'4" with a minute to go. I have to make a furious comeback.
I like air hockey, but it does require a lot of hand-eye coordination. So I'm with you. That might be the bottom one here, but I like playing it, but I'm not.
It's cool. It's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea.
Is David Chubb all of the super chats because that's really funny.
That's hilarious. It's
I do
very
have to-
exciting when the like hum happens and
Yes.
the puck like levitates.
It is tremendous technology.
It's awesome.
It's really cool. I have to shout out field hockey. I mentioned Ava in high school. She was Ava the Sava. We had an excellent
Ava the Sava.
We had an excellent field hockey team, and she was a really good goalie.
That's fantastic.
So that'll do it for
and
today's mailbag.
I just wanted to say I love floor hockey. I used to play up at the Houston Playground in Roxborough and on a team, and it was so much fun, but way too competitive for what it was. I got so many ankle injuries, and also I hit a lot of guys, so it was
Hit a lot of guys. All right, let's hit some super chats, and it looks like they're all from David.
David.
Let's see the first one here.
The Chubb Institute.
If I can squat 405, I hope Zegras is squatting 666. Is that has he been hitting the squat rack? Is that something that's going on?
I hope if he's hitting the squat rack, he better be going across the street to the Lincoln Financial Field and hit, or the Eagles, the NovaCare training facility, and ending up Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, because those are the squat masters.
Right? I love how they're having squat offs at the NovaCare now. It's just like, this is what the team does for fun.
Best butts in the league.
I mean, it's not, when you have the tush push, everyone needs a nice tush.
You need
It's
some cushion for the pushing.
You need it. It's absolutely. All right, another one from David here. Michkov should train with the Eagles. Absolutely. I think
everybody should go train with the Eagles.
I haven't been to like the behind the scenes of Voorhees in a long time. I assume the facilities are excellent.
They redid them a few years ago.
Yeah.
So it should be very tough.
It seems like it's constantly under.
Certainly better than Vancouver, where Rick
they don't
Hackett's
have a training center.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen like the behind the scenes there in a while. But I know NovaCare is like state of the art everything. I'm sure they would.
Let's do the podcast from there.
I'm sure they would give us a tour. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Another one here from David.
Loving the Chubb Institute.
Every time I roast Leafs Pens fans, they DM saying I'm on steroids. Don't think they realize the huge compliment for someone sober and substance free. I guess this is
you look like David.
They're all just talking about working out, and today's
I guess
I feel like this isn't complimentary. If they're all talking about working out, this is not complimentary to you and I.
No.
Today's chat was just being mean to us, I think, is my guess.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I accept who I am.
Yeah, I don't care. But I would just like to know this. This is why we need to pay attention to the chat more, because they seem to live in their own world a lot.
Oh, I've been in the chat a couple times, like during shows, and it is a different world.
It's its own community, which I love. But I just never actually know, unless the super chats are directed at something we talked about, what the hell is going on.
I have no idea.
We need like an extra person just
Kelly
to monitor.
Hinkle's in there a lot when
Kelly is in the chat all the time.
Kelly's our expert right there.
She's in right now. She says, "Great show, boys. Great chat." And great show, great chat. Totally separate. Two separate things.
Two separate things.
It is its own community. All right. And the last one. I am proud of you, though, David. If they think you're on steroids, I'm proud of you for not being.
You're getting those gains, bro.
Also, I think steroids are cool.
They made baseball better.
Yeah, they absolutely made baseball better. They made pro wrestling better until everyone started combining them with other drugs.
We don't have the Bash Brothers without steroids.
No. Have you ever seen on Netflix the
I know
Bash
exactly
Brothers
what you're talking about. Yes.
Lonely Island thing?
I'm Jose.
And I'm Mark. It's so good. It's so good. I think the clock's off again, so I have to trigger overtime before we hit this last question. The clock's like a minute and a half behind. Go to allphly.com to continue watching if you're part of the TV audience. And our final super chat today says, shameless plug, the Grave Bathers. Is that what it is? Grave Bathers. Thank you.
Grave Bathers
plays Nicky Lopez on Friday night on South Street. Let's effing go. Good for those who dig hard rock / Sabbath.
Well, we're some hard rock guys right here. We love some Sabbath, so. All right, great.
Seems interesting.
Grave Bathers, right?
Grave Bathers. That's actually kind of great.
That's
great
right there. Yeah,
actually really good.
South Street. All right.
All right. Make sure you all check out David's band on South Street Friday night.
Thanks, Chubb.
Grave Bathers. Love it.
Chubbs.
All right. That is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the YouTube page And yeah, hit that like button. We need it. We need you. 107, not
What was
enough.
it? Eat without it.
200 likes. That's the goal every day, and we're nowhere near it. So hit that freaking like button. Get us to 200 for at least by the time I get home.
Our children are starving.
Follow us on all the socials. We are at PHLY_Flyers on Twitter.
Flyperbole.
Follow
Flyperbole.
Follow Flyperbole as well, and make sure you check out their podcast as well as ours. Just search PHLY Flyers wherever you get your podcasts. And that's it. I am Bill Matz. That is Steve Jaco. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.